and create a Lambda function that will retrieve the data from the DynamoDB table. Okay. So this is Ohio and this is Ohio. So I need to go back to North Virginia. Okay. So here is updated again, but okay, I have the 3 items here. Guys, what do you think? You like the new console better than the old one? To be honest, I don't know what to tell you. I'm so used to the other console, right? So this one is better for me, right? So now I'm gonna go ahead and create a Lambda function in valid URL. What do you mean valid URL? Oh, because I changed to the new console. Okay, so let us query the database. So I'm gonna go ahead and create a table. I'm gonna not create a table, create a Lambda function. So I'm gonna create a Lambda, right? And then I'm gonna create a function. And the name of the function, I'm going to call it my DynamoDB Lambda function. Okay, that's going to be in Python, the runtime, and it's going to create a role for me with Lambda permissions, basic Lambda permissions. That might not work because we may need something more specific to communicate with Lambda, with the DynamoDB table. Okay, but let's do it. So I created a Lambda function in Python, and right now we're going to write the code to query the database. Okay, so I open this guy, right? And I'm gonna close this. All right, I'm gonna delete it. I'm gonna import the Bottle3 module, which is for developers, right? And I'm gonna say DynamoDB, it's just a variable. I'm gonna say Bottle3, I'm gonna use the module, and I'm gonna say resource. And the resource that I'm trying to get is DynamoDB, right? So I'm gonna get this, everything that has to do with that particular guy, all the attributes, everything from that resource are gonna be stored in this variable, right? Now, I can say table, and I use DynamoDB, which is the variable that I used, right? And I say dot table, right? And the name of the table is person. Remember that we created person table, right? Now I have the table. I'm going to create a list, name people, right? Name people, right? An empty list. Now I'm going to say, for example, I'm going to say, I'm going to use the handler. The handler is something that's very important. Lambda handler. I'm going to pass the event and the context. And now we're going to say people clear. People clear. So every time that the function is called, I'm going to clear the list. Otherwise, it's going to be appending and appending and appending and appending and appending every time that the function is called. Okay. Now I'm going to say items. It's a variable, items. I'm going to say table from this guy here, table, dot scan. So I'm going to scan the entire table. I scan. And when I scan that, I want to get the items in the table. Right? Now I can say for I in range, right, range, and then I'm going to have the length of the items, right? As you can see here, the length of the items, because this is storing all the items in the table, right? I want to say, okay, my dictionary, I'm creating a dictionary, right? And I'm saying, okay, ID is going to be items I dot get ID. Remember when we saw dictionaries, we could get the items by saying my dictionary, right? And that get and the key of the dictionary. So in this case, we're saying we add into a dictionary a key and a value, right? So we're getting the value from here, from this I here, we're getting the value from items. So that's going to be the first one. Now I can say first name, right? And that's going to give items I get first name. Right? We have first name here in the table, right? First name here. Where is it? First name, right? And last name. So we're getting that. Okay. And now we're going to do the same thing, but last name, right? Last name. Right? Okay. So that's going to be my dictionary. Let's get that item for now. Now I say people dot append my dictionary. And then I can go ahead and say return people. All right. So here we have, and then we can get those items for a Lambda function. With the Lambda function, let's see if it works. So we're going to deploy the changes, right? It doesn't give you an error when the syntax. Let me test this, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and create a Lambda Dynamo Lambda event. And let's see what happens. Create that event. And now when I do that, I get an error. Okay. So it means that my Lambda function doesn't have the permissions. It doesn't have the, remember that we have a role with the basic permissions. So we need to fix the role. The role is not working. Okay. Remember I told you we're going to have a problem with the role. Okay. So what we can do is here in configuration. So we can have, well, actually is edit. We come here, we have, this is the role that we have right now. So we have to click on this, right? You click on the role, it's going to take you to IAM, and there we can add permissions to the role. Okay, so we click here, and it's going to take it to IAM. Remember, under here, on the configuration, right? And then you edit this part here, and that you will find the role at the end of the page here, right? So now that we are here, what we're gonna do is attach a policy, right? Right? Let's attach a policy here. And maybe we can say DynamoDB. DynamoDB, maybe this guy here. You can do some get metrics, get items, scan. You have scan here, see? You can scan, right? So we can go ahead and add DynamoDB read-only access, okay? So maybe this developer needs that only, doesn't need anything else, right? So if we need more, then we can give DB full access, right? So let us open this. Let's just think that this developer needs a lot of permissions, right? So we're going to attach the policy. And once the policy is attached, it is right here, right? Now the role already has the policy that we need to make it scan, right? So with this guy, you can do anything you want, right? Okay, anything you want, you see? With DynamoDB, right? So now we can go ahead and test the function again. So we can cancel this and go back to the code, right? And test it. There you go. You see how beautiful this look here, right? Of course, we're not getting why we don't get an ID for the first one. Weird. Okay. Items. Oh, because ID is with uppercase. Okay. So now we get 001, 003, 0002. All right. But, you know, basically it's, this code is created for a table that contains all of the attributes are the same. Like every attribute or every item has an ID, a first name, a last name. Okay. So, but at least it works. It works. You can get items here. So let me see here. This is still, this is active already. So I'm going to go ahead and go to Ohio. Right click. See, Ohio should be active already. Okay, active. Ohio. Ohio, please leave. I don't want you anymore. Leave as soon as possible. Okay, we copy the letter D, right? And the table will be deleted. Okay. So Ohio will be deleted. I still keep North Virginia because that's the original one. Okay. So guys, we can see how we can get these guys. Okay. We can tweak this code and make it in a way that you will get something else, right? And not this null value, right? So we can say if value is null, then something else. Don't get that, right? Okay. But the dictionary is working. Okay. So we can add, maybe we can edit this guy, right? Maybe we can edit this guy, right? And here, instead of having this guy, I can have first name, Orlando, and last name, right? And then Otano. My father, by the way. Okay, so here we go. We have Orlando Tano, and then we can edit this guy as well, right? And we can have first name, Martha, and then last name, Ramos. And then we can remove this guy. Well, actually, oh, this is the number. Okay, can remove this one and this one, add a new attribute, string last name, and then Ramos. Okay, good. Save items. Perfect. Now we can go ahead and execute this Lambda function again, and then we get a value for each one. You see? Beautiful. Now, when we get to a little more advanced things, we're going to display this in a browser. So we're going to join, we're going to bring DynamoDB, Lambda, and API gateway, and we're going to display this in the browser, which is pretty cool, right? In the browser instead of here in the DynamoDB execution results, right? But could you guys do this? Could you get these results with the code? Should I post the code on Slack so you guys can see it and get it there and query the table? Yes, no?
Yeah, I could do it.
You were able to do it?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So this is how you create a Lambda function to query a table. As you can see, we never used any SQL language or anything. We just used Python, right? And we were able to test the results and get an okay here. Everything is okay. Okay. Good. Succeeded here. Perfect. Now in the table, we can, and I have to get used to this new look because I just changed it. And that's for the first time. Okay. So we can do some actions here, try to understand a little bit. Okay, table. And here, okay. Yep, it takes some getting used to. So it's a new console, a new presentation here, right? Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. So this is what I wanted to do. I want to query or scan probably a query in the table, maybe the ID that is 001, and that will return the first one only. Okay, so that's a filter. Where we want to put a filter, attribute name equals to maybe you want to say first name string equals Martha, right? And then run it. And then we don't get anything because Martha is 2. Martha is 2 or 3? I think it's 3, probably. No, it's 2. Right? Right here. Right? So you can explore your database, right? Your table, and do a scan. This is a scan. This is actually what I did here in my function. I scanned all the table, and I had a for loop to print specific attributes in the table and get a nice and clean printout like this one. Okay. So you guys understand? Do you guys think that we can sort this because in the result we get 03 and 02? Why not? Can I do this? So can we have that? Okay. Nope, because it's not. is a list of dictionaries. So a dictionary doesn't have that. So mistake, big mistake. Even though it's a list, it's a list of dictionaries. It's not a list of items like numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or words, right? Well, guys, that's how you create a function. That's how you deploy it. And that's how you get those items from a DynamoDB table. Okay. You can add more guys if you want to, right? You can add those guys, right? So maybe once we have that, and we return this guy, maybe we can say probably and create another function, right? And that could be